Two Iranian ballistic missiles entered UAE bound airspace, but the UAE answered with something more powerful than missiles, a financial freeze. Instead of striking Iran militarily, Abu Dhabi halted Iranian linked financial transactions, threatening trade networks that connect Tehran to global markets. That freeze attacks one of Iran's vital financial channels. But if Tehran retaliates by threatening Hormuz, how far can this economic war escalate? Two Iranian ballistic missiles launched into the night sky, their trajectory set toward the United Arab Emirates. The event immediately raised the specter of a high intensity military escalation. Instead of a kinetic response, the UAE bypassed its military options and executed a synchronized freeze on every financial transaction linked to Iran. The missiles themselves avoided urban centers. One landed within the UAE's territorial waters, while the other fell just beyond the 12 nautical mile limit. Despite the lack of physical damage, the event triggered a massive economic retaliatory strike. In modern geopolitics, a targeted financial blockade can inflict deeper structural damage than a conventional bombing run. The UAE and Iran share a narrow maritime border. This geographic proximity forces a high level of daily interaction between two strategic rivals aligned with opposing global powers. Dubai serves as a primary commercial and logistics gateway for the Iranian market. Decades of trade have created a complex web of merchant networks and financial channels connecting the two nations. The UAE's total suspension of trade and financial exchanges effectively severs these long standing commercial links. This move risks billions of dollars in established revenue, even though the missile strike failed to damage a single piece of UAE infrastructure. The severity of this response is rooted in the strategic value of the waters that separate the two countries. This map shows the Strait of Hormuz and the adjacent Gulf of Oman, a significant maritime bottleneck for global energy. To the east, the United States maintains a persistent naval presence, creating a de facto blockade against Iranian movement. Iran exerts influence over the strait itself, utilizing its coastline to monitor and regulate the vessels traversing this narrow passage. Both missiles landed directly within the approach lanes used by international merchant fleets. Whether the result of technical inaccuracy or a deliberate choice of target, the impact was the same, a clear signal that these essential shipping lanes are now high risk zones. Tehran is effectively using the threat of arbitrary missile strikes to manipulate the behavior of global shipping and increase the cost of navigating the region. The UAE's economic model relies on its reputation for absolute social stability and economic predictability. As a premier global hub for aviation, shipping, and logistics, the country's growth is tied to the seamless movement of cargo and capital. This terminal moves a vast volume of goods that require a 24-hour, uninterrupted cycle. International banks and foreign investors base their regional operations in the UAE because it functions as a safe haven within a volatile region. Frequent missile or drone threats degrade that safety premium. If the environment is perceived as unstable, the result is an immediate spike in insurance costs and the potential for rapid capital flight. For an economy built on the promise of security, a near miss is functionally equivalent to a direct hit. The UAE's retaliatory strategy focused on the financial sector, halting all Iranian linked transactions until further notice. Iran is already under heavy international sanctions. It relies on the UAE banking system as a vital backdoor to access the global economy and conduct foreign trade. While a halt in physical trade is manageable, losing access to digital financial networks is catastrophic for Iranian businesses. This diagram illustrates the failure point. Without a UAE based banking node to facilitate payments, an Iranian importer cannot pay suppliers or secure the cargo insurance necessary to move goods across the ocean. This freeze significantly increases the cost of doing business in Tehran and restricts its access to stable foreign currency. By leveraging its position in the global financial system, the UAE struck a critical domestic vulnerability without committing to a physical war. This aggressive financial stance risks a total closure of the Strait of Hormuz by Iran. Most regional powers cannot afford that risk, but the UAE has a unique geographic advantage. This map shows the UAE's overland crude oil pipeline. It begins deep within the country and travels directly to the eastern coast, emptying into the Gulf of Oman. This infrastructure allows the UAE to maintain its oil exports even if the Strait of Hormuz is completely shut down. Global energy markets, however, do not share this insulation. Continued friction in these waters keeps Brent crude prices elevated as traders factor in the risk of a supply disruption. These events demonstrate a shift in modern conflict. The ability to sever a bank transfer or collapse a supply chain now functions as a primary deterrent. As financial networks become increasingly centralized, the power to deny access to the global vault has become a definitive tool of national defense.